Month Club, it's your friendly neighborhood mad scientist, me, Laura E. And today it is time for a plushie DIY. Whoop. Here is my prototype plushie. She's a little werewolf lady with a cute little dress on and a little tail. Today I will show the steps to make the body, the face, and the ears. And next time, not next week, but the week after, I will do the DIY for the clothes.
Future Laura here. I was really naive when I filmed the intro and outro for these videos. Little did I know that this DIY would become I don't want to call it a large disaster, but a big mess.
This version I did sew, but for the purposes of today's DIY, I will be doing a no-sew version. So I'm going to test out different glues and things. I've done some no-sew classes in the past, like in person, and I've had trouble with different types of glues. So I'm going to be testing those out today, so we'll see how that works out. Listed out all the materials I've used below, and at the end of the month, I will have the pattern for the werewolf plush up in my shop along with complete instructions, so you have the visual of the DIY video and the written down instructions with the materials you need all in one place, so you can make it more easily at home. Feel free to create your own pattern and interpret this werewolf plush in any way you want. I'd love to see it. And until then, let's get started.
I always start with my prototype nearby, the pattern as well, and then I have my materials. They're listed below. I start with my muslin that I hand dyed to make it yellow. It was originally like a brown color. And I trace the pattern out on the muslin. And I also traced out the ear as well for the back of the ear because it's the same color as the body. And then I marked where the fold was, and here I am testing out two different types of fabric glue. One worked better than the other, held better, but I decided to just go with the hot glue, even though hot glue is my arch nemesis. I cut the fabric in half and laid it over the pattern, and then I glued down the line. So I basically just approached it like it was a sewing project, except instead of sewing, I hot glued it, which I think was one of my first initial mistakes in this project. So I ended up putting on a glove because hot glue is really hot, and I'm always terrified I'm going to burn myself. And so I went around the entire pattern, and that took a while, left openings for the ears and the head. And then I did the same thing for the ears. It was a pink felt for the inner ear color, thinking that was gonna work. So I tested out the glue, and one of the glues stuck better than the other. And then here I am tracing out the face. So for the eyes, I have a cookie cutter shape that I use. For the inner eye, I traced the inside of the cookie cutter, and then for the outer eye, I traced the outside. And then I traced the nose, the teeth, and the mouth onto the fabric. Here I am cutting it out. So basically I cut it out and then flip it over and then trim off any of the excess little sharp edges if I'm trying to get a decent curve shape like these circles. Out the nose, I decided to modify the nose because I snipped the bottom part of the nose a little bit too much. It looked weird and misshapen. Here I am trying to get a layout of the face and cutting out the inner eye, or the whites of the eye, I guess. And then I hot glued them together, and then for the second one, I don't know, I must have zoned out briefly, and I put the glue on the black, which you put the glue on the white because that's the top part. There I am marking the eyes, and then I decided I wanted to give him more cat-like pupils, so I got some of my Puffy Paint out and sort of finessed those a bit. And then I went back and I cut around the pattern. Again, this would be the same if you were sewing it. And then this is where the trouble started to begin. Everything was going okay, and then I tried to flip it. All the places where the glue didn't stick well started to show themselves. I didn't want to use any like really intense tools because I was afraid I was going to rip the glue because I didn't know how strong it was. Spoiler alert, it wasn't very strong at all. And I got to the legs and I like ripped one of the legs at the seam. When you sew angles of corners and stuff, you snip into them. Well, it didn't work the same with the glue because the glue kind of spread out everywhere. And so none of the corners were working out. It was just sort of becoming a blobby mess. And so I gave up and I ripped it apart, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll just glue the wrong sides together and just not have the seam on the inside, have the seam on the outside. And it's glue, it should be fine. So I don't have to deal with the flipping process. This would have been fine, except muslin, it's a pretty loose weave fabric, so it kept on fraying. And no matter how straight I tried to trim it, it was not having it. It was being a pain in the butt. I kept on fighting with it and fighting with it. It kept getting weird in the neck area, and then I'd cut into the glue, and then I'm pretty sure I messed up some of my scissors during the process of this. Since it was fraying, I tried to add more glue around the edges. That was taking more time. And then I switched glues halfway through because I was like, oh, well, this glue works a little better, so maybe if I use the less good glue, I don't want to waste the nice glue, because that's the one that works better in case I need to actually glue things down. Finally, I went around all the edges, and that really wasn't sticking either. So then I went back to the ears, and I was like, well, maybe these ears will work okay. And I repeated the same process with the trimming and then the glue around the edges so the muslin wouldn't fray, and so there wasn't like a weird gap, so it would look more like a sewn object. I was like, well, okay, let's try some stuffing. I should have given up way before this. Then I gave up. So I thought, well, maybe felt would work better because I know felt is used in a lot of craft projects and people use it with hot glue a lot. And I looked up some more tutorials. A lot of them were with socks, which is fine, but sometimes you're kind of limited, and socks are super small. I quickly sketched out a pattern. I wanted to do something more simple because I think part of the problem was that the pattern was pretty intricate with lots of long, thin shapes, and it was looking pretty ugly when I stuffed it. So I thought maybe if I did a simpler shape that would work better. So I used the face as my base, did a big head and a little body, so like a little chibi shape. Then I redid the ears smaller. I should have just kept the original ears, but I already threw them in the bin. Oops. My original plan with the ears was to do like an inset ear, so to do the pink shape smaller inside the yellow shape, but I don't know, I must have again like zoned out when I was doing it. I glued the face on. It was way too big for the body, but I didn't want to start over with that part because I was already pressed for time. I was on like hour 3.5. So I put the ears in the holes that I left open with the glue. Glued up the top of the head, added the fur. So I'm really particular about stuffing, and the neck is gross with the stuffing because I like a smooth shape with my plushes. I don't like that weird crinkling. So I covered that up with fur eventually. I wanted little hands, but I didn't want them to be like sticking out. I wanted them to be more forward. So I cut out a shape and then glued it to the edge of the body. And here's the finished product. It didn't turn out well. I'm not happy. If I was to do it again, I would definitely shrink the face, finesse the pattern a bit more, and make the ears bigger. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along on social media for all the creepy crawly fun. Not next week, but the week after is when I will be tackling this DIY again, and hopefully it'll go better this time. I'm armed with more knowledge. And until next time, stay spooky, friends!